as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Florida Health Connector. We connect you to Blue.
Turning 65 soon. If you're confused by all the Medicare information you've been receiving, start by calling your local Florida Blue agency. Florida Blue offers a variety of Medicare and Part D drug plans, so no matter what your healthcare coverage needs are, we're sure to have a plan that's right for you. Call Florida Health Connector and we'll help you cut through all the fuss. Call 850-249-1010 today.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
Auburn football is back this Saturday.
Thorne on fourth down. Looks and he throws across the middle. It's caught. DeAndre Lambert-Smith down the hash. He's going to score. 10-5 touchdown.
The Tigers clash with the Oklahoma Sooners. Coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. Central on your home for the Auburn Sports Network.
ESPN Northwest Florida. War Eagle.
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get ready.
Give us a call, 850-215-6290.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
Oh, you gotta give it that hawk.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onion pickles.
Live and local on ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Northwest Florida? You're now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 right here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick. We're going to have a special appearance here from Bone Crusher in just a few short moments. But first, got to let you guys know, we're a news-oriented station, and most of the time that's sports news. We are going to have a little weather news from Bone Crusher here in a second. But the Mosley Dolphin football game, I know that we've been telling you guys that it's going to be at 7:30 this coming Friday. However, that game has been postponed and it's been moved to Monday. So I'm going to find myself in Pensacola Monday evening at 6 p.m. And so Brian Haddad, Coach Brian Haddad, if you're listening, you're your own producer that day. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. You're gonna have to figure it out. No, we'll get things figured out. But the Mosley game has been moved from Friday to Monday at 6 p.m. The original kick time on Friday was 7:30. Now it is going to be Monday. Mosley taking down Escambia last week, 38-13. Mosley 5-0, looking to go 6-0. I think they handedly will over Mosley, over Milton. No disrespect to Milton, but facts are facts, right? And Milton sitting at 0-5, and they've only scored 48 points on the year. So we'll see what happens. That's going to be over there at Milton High School Stadium. Stadium Monday night. Oh, wow, this is a very updated. I was just kind of riffing over here like I'm playing a guitar, but don't forget we are your official station for the Atlanta Braves, and Braves got a big win last night, 5-1. We'll talk more about that later on in this show, but now your official Hurricane Helene update from the Bone Crusher.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Breaking weather.
All right, you got Bone Crusher in the ESPN Northwest Florida Storm Center with the latest on Hurricane Helene. Right now, here in Panama City and Bay County, we're expecting tropical storm conditions tomorrow. Winds will be gusting at about 35 miles an hour, but that could pick up and hit 60, maybe even 70. The rain impact will be about 3 to 7 inches with a very low threat of tornadoes here. This could result in fewer power outages, maybe even some periodic closing of the Hathaway Bridge. But overall, this is really good news for us. Our biggest fears will not be realized. The line where winds really start to pick up are going to be around Apalachicola, east of there, with landfall near Tallahassee tomorrow night about 8 p.m. as a Cat 3. Now, winds over there could hit 125 miles an hour. Storm surge is going to be huge. And for those in the direct path, this is going to be a devastating storm. Now, for our listeners over in Port St. Joe and Gulf County, you are right on the fringe. You can expect much stronger winds than here in Panama City. You are not under a mandatory evacuation notice at this time, but you are under a hurricane warning. Peak wind forecast tomorrow for you guys will be 40 to 50 miles an hour with winds gusting 70 to 100 miles an hour. But overall here in Panama City, in this area, it looks to be a tropical storm event. Really, the best news we could have hoped for in this scenario. Now let's quickly get into some closings and we'll wrap up this update. Bay District schools will be closed on Thursday and Friday.
And Friday, ladies and gentlemen, so don't let that impact your plans to evacuate. Sorry.
After school events will be canceled for today and tomorrow. And Gulf District schools will be closed today, tomorrow, and Friday. Also canceled is Friday night, as Dave just mentioned, Mosley versus Milton. That game will be moved to Monday at 6 in Milton, but you'll be able to hear that right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Several local agencies in the Panhandle have also announced closures. All Florida Department of Health and Bay County offices will be closed tomorrow. Offices will remain closed until further notice. Bay County Courthouse closed early today, but the clerk's office...
dog, dude. I bet the people in jail was mad.
Could it go to court? The clerk's office is open Friday in the Bay County Courthouse. And finally, City Hall offices will also be closed tomorrow in Panama City and Lynn Haven. We'll have another update for you coming up.
How about this? We've got AccuWeather. All right, no free shout outs, but they just got one out of me. And here's why. Because I'll segue that into a legitimate shout out to KHS TV. You can go to espnpc.com, click on the TV channel. And with that being said, we're watching AccuWeather, and they had Port St. Joe. They had a visual of Port St. Joe on a national weather channel there. And that's one of those things that just makes you know, one, not so good, and then two,
yeah, but if you're in a really tiny town and that comes up on the national news, you know, what else? What else do you need to know? That's right there. All right, we're gone.
Dude, man, it's such a thin line, and I think for people like me, I think that the choice is a little bit easier. But if I had a family, I know what my choice would be. What's in the best interest for my family? You know what I mean? Regardless of my responsibility to being on air, like at the end of the day, family should trump everything. Really. But however, with that being said, if something does end up happening, you might see a little duo that you've never seen for a full 2, 8, 24 hours. And that would be Bone Crusher and David on
that would be very exciting.
Surviving the Storm with BC and Dave.
If you're thinking about going to work or staying with your family, think of it this way. If you kind of split everybody up, that way if one person goes
kids
down,
one way and parents the other?
Well, yeah,
that might be lead
like
to
they
trouble.
never have the president and the vice president on the same plane. You know, you want to kind of separate everybody just in case, right? You don't want too many orphans on your hands.
Yeah. Oh my. Man, it's great to have Bone Crusher in the building with us. Obviously, he runs the board for us, but sometimes I talk too much to let him get his airtime in, and I want to let everyone know how big of a piece of the puzzle Bone Crusher is to ESPN Northwest Florida. And I want to say to you face to face here on the air, like, I appreciate that, man. You have made my job. You don't even realize, I think you realize maybe more than I do how much easier you've made my job, because
all right.
What ends up happening is Randy would just be like, well, here you go, do this, do that, do that.
I'm brilliant every single day. Bring it.
But no, very thankful to you, and we will have more hurricane updates from Bone Crusher at 4:40 and 5:20 this afternoon, right?
All right, I'll have an update for you guys shortly, so stay with us for more coverage on Hurricane Helene.
Well, let's do this. Since you're in the building with us, and I was trying to figure out which direction are we going to go. You're a Dirty Birds fan, right? And your Falcons.
Right.
Tough loss on Sunday evening, and I think that some of us could blame the Zebras. I would.
Yeah.
End of the day, though, how are you feeling about your Falcons here in 2024?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy that we beat Philadelphia on Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago. I just...
Squad!
I haven't had a chance to give Caveman Rick a hard time about that, but I just kind of wanted to rub that in his face a little bit.
I'm good.
I'm good. When you're getting two words out of Caveman Rick, you know that's like
not good.
That's like saying K in a text.
Okay. It hurt so bad.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's one game. It's early in the season. At the end of the season, I still expect to be further along than you guys. So yeah.
All Philadelphia had to do was run the ball. All
Saquon had to do was catch the ball.
I will not back down off of that. I will not back down off of that. That was the right play call. That was the right play call every single time.
How was that the right play call?
Because I could take you to the last week's game. How many times on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 that Saquon got stopped short? That was the right play call every single time.
The Eagles paid that man.
And I'm a run the ball type guy. Sorry for interrupting.
You're fine to be there and to get the ball in those situations. Okay, you're not going to make the play every time. All right, he didn't make the play there. He probably should have caught that ball.
Probably. Come on now.
I mean,
9 to 10. But listen,
ahead of him, so I'll give him credit. It was a little bit ahead of him. But what I'm trying to say, though,
that was perfectly.
You don't pay that man that kind of money and then not give him the ball in those situations. What the hell are you doing giving him the money then?
And for the people who say run the ball, I would say 9 times out of 10, 100%, clock management is huge. However, in that situation, if you don't get the stop there, you still have about the same amount of time on the clock. Maybe let's take off 30 seconds. So we're looking at, instead of 1:05, well, it would be like 1:01. And I would have to have the box score up in front of me to validate that. However, Atlanta was out of timeouts, yes. And if you run the ball and you don't get that, what happens on 4th and 1 whenever you run a play and there's not a play clock. There's not a play clock, ladies and gentlemen. The clock stops as soon as you go down because it's been a turnover on downs. Yeah. So with that being said, that was... And again, I really need to drive this emphasis home of I am a fan of great clock management. With that being said, I would say that, yes, you should run the ball right there. However, I don't know if that changes the game.
Why run it there? I mean, why throw it there? Why not just pitch it out or something?
Okay, if you pitch it out, now you're talking about losing 3, 4, 5 yards if the defense is good.
Yeah, and they read the play.
Now you have to run straight up the middle. The only other thing that I would say, and listen, I'm not going to be mad at people saying run the ball or tush push it. Sure, like if that's how you feel 100%. I would just say, how about you go take your eyes, put them on the replay, and watch and say, why didn't Saquon catch the ball?
How about this?
You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And if an Eagles fan is saying that, then I feel like I am totally credified, obviously a made up word right there, but credified in saying that.
You're validated. But outside of that,
don't correct me when I'm saying wrong words.
We're undefeated. We're 3-0 outside of what we were just talking about it, yes? So you're talking about basically something small like that is making the difference between an undefeated team and a team that's 2-1. That says a lot too. As bad as this team's played, having turnovers and the struggles that they've had, they're basically one play away from being undefeated. You can basically break it down to that. That says a lot.
That's a phenomenal point, Caveman Rick. Honestly, to bring it in like that, and you are one play away, and you were in control of that game for the most part.
98%
However,
win probability at that point.
flip side of that, right? Against the Saints, you're not in control of the game at all. Right? Like, y'all were not in control of that game. No. In fact, I still felt like, even in the waning moments of that game, that the Saints were going to come back. But, exactly like you said, the defense. And I'll also say this about the Philadelphia Eagles. The offensive line, somehow, some way, has given you guys enough to be able to have the tush push and all of that stuff, because I think with the lack of Jason Kelce, you guys have lost a lot in the locker room.
I'd agree with that. I mean, that's fair enough, but I mean, there also has been some other change too on that offensive line as well. I mean, Mekhi Becton, he wasn't starting like all games last year or anything either. So, I mean, you got two guys really kind of filling in on that offensive line. And then with, changing of not only offensive but defensive coordinators too. You got Kellen Moore in, bringing his new style in, and they're having to, readjust and get used to that. Something that they didn't do a whole lot last season, if at all, was motioning in plays, and that's what they're doing a lot more of this season too.
My goodness, Falcons Saints. That's going to be a big one this coming Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that's always a great game.
Yeah, it's always a great game.
Wait,
but
how about the Eagles, man? We're playing
all right, listen, we just gave you like
NFC
5
South.
minutes of airtime.
Eagles airtime is over now.
NFC South, though.
We beat them, we're done.
We've got more wins in your division than you guys do. All right, you get what I'm saying?
But we're off the Eagles, man. We're going to another bird. We're going to fly over there. All right?
Wasting your time.
And then, some say that. Some are listening and probably like, well, thank you. Thank you, Dave, for sticking up for us. Falcons Saints, though, that's going to be a big one this week. What are your thoughts on that? Because the Saints had such an explosive start to the season, right? And 40-plus points in each of their 2 first games. Punting like maybe 4 times. A lot of people were saying, oh, they didn't punt for the first so many drives. I'm like, y'all didn't watch the game, because they punted in the first game and they punted in the second game. But the difference was a lot of people were using a statistic that they heard where it was just Derek Carr led drives they didn't have a punt with until the second game. And I was like, oh, okay, I get that. Well, lead with that when you tell me a statistic like that, because I'm gonna call you out when you don't have that information. However, the Saints have looked really good. I would even go as far as to say this, that they still looked good, just not as good as what Saints fans wanted them to look like last week. However, the Falcons, week 1, people are like, what? Why did we get so hyped up over this offseason?
Right.
And then, though, the last 2 games, it's like, oh, it's starting to come together. It's starting to make sense, So with that being said, what is your thoughts in this huge matchup in the NFC South between the Falcons and the Saints, Bone Crusher?
Well, I haven't broke down all the X's and O's here, but as you mentioned, the Falcons are kind of finding their form. Our quarterback's feeling a little bit better, and our offense is looking a lot stronger. And whenever these 2 teams play, I don't care what the records are. I know that's a cliche, but it's really a great game. It could go either way. And, man, if our quarterback is 100%, we got a chance.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is there any side of you at all? Obviously, you don't want to see this, but are you curious about Michael Penix and what he brings to the table? Like, is there any side of you at all that would like to see Penix this year?
Is this his first year in the league?
He's a rookie.
Yeah, he doesn't need to come out. We do not need to see a rookie. He needs to be a couple of years, at least.
Yes! Man, we're so far in agreement in that. As you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, you can give us a call or text at 850-215-6290. David Hayes, Bone Crusher, and Caveman Rick. Today we've got Banji Bomadelli coming up here in about 7 minutes, because we're probably going to go a little long here, and we'll have your Hurricane Helene updates at 4:40 and 5:20. But a lot of great football yet to be played here. Now, we are an affiliate of Auburn. I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch that game, but what are your thoughts on the Auburn Tigers falling to 2-2 after a really hot start to the season against Alabama A&M? They fall to Cal at the house at Jordan-Hare, and that's just wild. And then you put in Hank Brown, you beat New Mexico, now you fall to Arkansas after the whole entire fan base was like, Hank Brown's our savior type stuff. And listen, I feel very bad for our Auburn fan base because I love you guys, man. Your thoughts, though?
Yeah, really disappointing there that they're 2-2. We sat here in meetings off the air and like, all right, we're going to play every Auburn game this season. You're like, yeah, Auburn's they got a great chance.
Oh, can we audible out of that?
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Listen, anything we say last week isn't necessarily true today, but it's, the SEC play is still, there's still plenty of time in the season for a great SEC finish.
Right.
I don't see it yet. We had 3 interceptions in the first half last week. So I just Auburn has not found their place. They have not found their wheels. They haven't found their legs.
Oh man, and you need to find those legs, or else Hugh Freeze. I don't think Hugh Freeze is in any trouble at this point in time. But I would love to hear from Auburn fans, and all you got to do is call us at 850-215-6290. Caveman Rick. Atlanta Braves, right? Coverage starts tonight at 6 o'clock. Hopefully, first pitch at 6:20 this evening. They got the win over the New York Mets last night convincingly. And there was also a very uncharacteristic play by Matt Olson last night, which didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. If you're watching the game, you're just like, how does anyone in their right mind miss that line drive for a double play? It's been fun for me to watch Luis Angel Acuna, who is Ronald Acuna's younger brother, even though he's playing for the Mets. It's been fun to watch him. However, Braves get it done last night. Your thoughts on that and the NL wildcard race, my friend?
Yeah, you guys got the win last night. Still kind of
okay. If you're gonna come in with that tone, if you're gonna come in with that tone, we're just gonna leave it alone.
Here's a take from a Philadelphia fan on the Atlanta Braves.
You're not scaring nobody. Right? I mean, you guys, you beat the Mets, but it's the Mets, right? It's we're in September.
Team y'all struggled with last series. It is postponed officially, and I hope Randy knows that. So if we can let Randy know to update the clock real quick. The game has been postponed tonight, which I would say leads us into doubleheader territory, which leads us into problematic territory because more than likely the game tomorrow is not getting played neither.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you're looking at playing the Kansas City Royals in a 3-game set. And then I don't know if this behooves the Braves or if it's one of those things that maybe isn't so great for them. You would rather play the Mets for your last series of the year, right? Like, because
it'll be like the playoffs.
Well, no, this is literally last night felt like playoff baseball, and then Kansas City Royals are vying for the final spot in the AL wild card. I know that you're trying to talk, but I know where you're going, and I'm just trying to keep cutting it off.
You guys should even though you got the win last night, I think you guys now, because of the weather situation, might have shot your guys selves.
Oh,
maybe
weather. I'm listening.
Maybe you guys should have started one of your better pitchers in Schwellenbach. He's a decent pitcher, but because there's going to be time off with the weather, you can maybe set up their pitching later on down the road to better suit you, I guess. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here's my thing though, and I see a tinge of that point. Like, I'm looking into a mirror and there's a little yellow and purple and green off to the side up there. But the main focus is Schwellenbach got the job done last night, and he got the job done convincingly. So with that being said, why? Why would we want to pitch someone else? Because at the end of the day, we don't know when these games are going to be being made up.
You don't, right? You don't know when they're going to be played.
Right. So if you're Snit, I think you made the right call.
There's chance that you're going to have that rest, those days off like we just talked about. So I think it would have been smart to start one of the better guys to make sure you get the more guaranteed start. and then worry about it down the road. You get what I'm saying? Because you really need the wins up front, at least to try to put a little pressure on the teams you're vying for, like the Mets, and say. So I think it's prudent to put pressure on them early. Don't you go out there with guns blazing.
Put pressure on. How is that not pressure? How is that not pressure when you win the game 5-1?
But you didn't know that going into the game.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Hindsight's 2020.
I hear you, but see, this is what you're rolling with now. Not going into that game, would you have felt more confident with a guy like Sale or Fried over Schwellenbach?
I am comfortable with a manager who has taken this injury. It feels like the Atlanta Braves are a hospital, a war hospital back in back in the day.
You were saying something different yesterday afternoon. Is my point.
I didn't say that though, like snit, but I didn't say that.
No,
go check the facts.
I'm talking about the pitching.
I mean, he's right. Rick's right. K-Man's right. It's a bit of a gamble there. It worked out in our favor though. So,
I disagree. I still disagree on that, like 100%. I think Schwellenbach, I know, but I'm just saying that I feel like Schwellenbach has been a very, a bright star, a silver lining in a very dark, cloudy sky for the Atlanta Braves this year. And I feel like that's the right move because you cannot lose game 2 and 3 of that. It would be better for the Atlanta Braves to lose game 1 of the series than it is 2 and 3. Because at least if you lose game 1, you know what you got to do moving forward.
Right, but if you win game 1, you can sweep the series. If you lose game 1, you can't.
Exactly, you can't do that. But let's put out a guy who has proven himself to this point, right? And let's see what he's made of. Can the offense, and also, and this is not factual, I cannot validate this, but I would say that the Braves are better as an offensive team in the first game of the series after the All-Star break. With that being said, I just said the word break. So we're going to take a break. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Banji Bombadella, he is the sports writer for the Panama City News Herald, is coming up next.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, raining moderately and a temperature of 85 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southeast. Possible thunderstorms and sprinkles tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 74. A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain and 78 tomorrow. 82 and a possibility of thunderstorms in the early morning and then mostly sunshine with a strong breeze Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
It's football season, and that boot store reminds you to roll tide. Go Noles, War Eagles, sick 'em dogs, and go Gators. Before the cold weather hits, shop that boot store for all your winter western wear and Carhartt work clothes to keep you warm on the job. That boot store, where God is good all the time. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, and Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burke at 15th Street, Panama City, that boot store.
The Braves have battled through a lot this season, and now the battle turns to the playoffs as the Braves try to lock up their spot in October.
Swung on and rocked down the left field line. Rolling down the line all the way to the wall. 2-1 Atlanta here in the fourth.
Tonight, division rivals clash at Truist Park in Atlanta, and the stakes are high as the Braves face off against Pete Alonso and the New York Mets.
Coverage coming up at 6 right here on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
But to beat a man, you gotta beat the man.
It's the Afternoon Underdogs on the Sports Talk Monster.
You're gonna be mine. Woo!
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I feel like the Beach Boys, I think that's what the name of the band was. Like, everybody's going surfing, Surfer USA. Obviously, I know that's not the song
Beach
here.
Boys, but yeah. I don't know where you get Beach Boys and Billy Idol confused, but okay.
I never listened to Billy Idol because I ain't got no football. I would say God would probably be like, yeah, you kind of treat sports like an idol sometimes to me, but that's a me and him thing, right?
Yeah, it's a himmy thing.
All right. Fair enough. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick. A big shout out to Bone Crusher for coming in and doing that weather update. We'll have him back at 4:40 and 5:20 this afternoon. Don't forget to look forward to the struggles of Texas A&M with Morgan Hilliard. I just wonder. I'm just picking up why Morgan texted all day on the Facebook feed, struggles at 5:20, because I put that, I wrote that there. Oh my goodness. I was like, why'd you say that? But they definitely did struggle, but let's talk about some teams who struggled, some teams who did very well, with Banji Bomadella, who was in studio with us last week. Banji, have you ever been through a hurricane?
No, I have not. I've faced remnants of a hurricane before, but never been through one, no.
What is your first time? Because you're around a whole bunch of Floridians, Panama Cityans, if you will, and a lot of them have been through Hurricane Michael, and I think with that comes a little bit of extra stress, but stress that makes sense if you were one who was here through it. So what's been some of your ideas about what's about to happen?
Well, with so many different models, it's looking like it's bending towards east, towards the Big Bend, but then I also see somewhere kind of curving westward. So it's like, I think it's better to be safe than sorry in one of these kind of situations.
Dude, there's that's what I continue to say to everyone is like, outside of me, I gave Jay, he is one of our co-hosts on the Inside Drive, I gave him a little bit of a hard time because I was like, you could have waited till after the show to get on out of here, but your family is the most important thing, man. I saw someone say today, or maybe it was yesterday, but it's a whole lot better to say, oh, thank God, rather than saying, oh my God, so we'll see how it plays out, but Banji, you riding it out or you evacuating?
I'm evacuating. I'm going back up to Atlanta, even though, they're still in the way of it, but it's less than being at Panama City.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think that's a very smart move on behalf of you, because we really enjoy the sports writing that you do here for our area via the Panama City News Herald. Banji Bomadella, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start with the power rankings, and then, of course, we're going to end up with the Banji Baller of the week. With that being said, let's start with let's start with number 6. Let's start with number 6. Who is number 6 in the Bay County power rankings?
At number 6, I have the North Bay Haven. They actually, with the firing of Thomas Elliott, they actually accomplished a lot last week. They scored 20 points against a good Baker team, and I think that's showing signs of progression under interim head coach Matt Durham. And I have them at 6, but if the games were canceled, they definitely have a great shot against St. Francis Catholic that's coming up.
Yeah, that's actually, let's start there. Mosley has moved from Friday to Monday. Well, we can't start there, but we can interject here. Mosley has moved from Friday to Monday. Do you have any updates on the other games? Are they all canceled? Can you give us an update? Let us know where we stand as of today.
As of today, all schools, Bay County schools, and Bay County activities are canceled for Thursday and Friday. So all games are canceled. I believe that Bozeman has rescheduled their game with Port St. Joe to October 10th. Arnold has rescheduled their game with Choctaw to Monday. Mosley, Bay, and Rutherford have also rescheduled their games to Monday.
All right, then, man, that's kind of weird. We're going to have some Monday Night Football here, and it's not just a doubleheader there on the good old ESPN or ABC. So, all right, let's move. We started at 6, and you had the North Bay Haven Buccaneers, which kudos to them for scoring 20 points in a year where up to that they'd only scored 2 points, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Let's move to number 5. Who do you have as the number 5 team on Banj's power rankings?
At number 5, I have Rutherford. They're still in search of a win, but they gave Arnold all that they could last week. And then, I was talking with Coach Floyd, this was the 3rd game in a row where they had a lead at halftime. It was 13-7, I believe, and they weren't able to bring it out. But they're still showing steady progression, and, it might not be this season, but it might be, the district games that are coming further along the line, but there's going to be progression with Rutherford. Rutherford is going to have an Arnold-like jump, I believe, in the next coming season.
All right, we'll move on to number 4 as you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Banji Bomadella, he is the sports writer for the Panama City News Herald. Number 4.
At number 4, I have Bay. They had to face a tough Madison County team yesterday, and it quickly got out of hand in the first quarter. I believe it was 21-0 in the first quarter, then 35-0 in the first half. So, yeah, they're still trying to figure out that. I'm loving what they're doing with their run game with Caleb Toombs, quarterback Xavier Morgan. He's getting active with the run game as well. That's what they need to keep on doing, but they also need to get their big targets like Jabbar Bowden, Joaquin Waters, and to get those guys involved more, and they should be able to put up more points than they have been so far.
Joaquin Waters is one of the most impressive football players that I've laid eyes on this season. In my pure opinion, I think Locavian Jackson is the best player in the county, and I don't think that it's close. I haven't seen every player in the county. But with that being said, Joaquin Waters is, I think, a very fun player to watch. And there's also a few on Rutherford, man. I think that those guys are, they're just a team that has a lot of heart. And I appreciate heart sometimes, and most of the times, honestly, more than I appreciate talent. With that being said, I think we're at number 3. So who would that be?
Number 3 is Bozeman. They got a big victory over Sneed. I believe 43-20. John Hansen had 3 receiving touchdowns. Caleb Williams, something that they haven't been doing that well is running the ball.
Caleb Williams?
I believe, yeah, Caleb Williams, Kalib Williams.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he had over 100 yards rushing, and everything was clicking. Hayden Gay, I believe 4 touchdown passes. Everything was clicking for them. And if they can maintain that, they can actually, be a team to fear in the county, because as long as they have the consistency on offense, consistency on defense, they should be a team, because they were down at the half, but yet they fought back. I see a clip where Coach Sweat was talking about it at halftime. We're going to stop them, score, stop them again, score, stop them again, and score. And they did exactly that. So I believe in what Coach Sweat is doing over there, and that's why I have him at number 3.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, on the line with Banji Bomadella. Make sure that you're checking out his content on the Panama City News Herald. With that being said, I think we're on our way to number 2. What do you have there, Banji?
Number 2, I have Arnold. Arnold, they held on at home. They were able to defeat Rutherford 29-26. Darren Elder, that's another guy we need to start talking about in terms of the top talent in the county. He might be one of the best receivers and best corners in the county. He had 2 touchdown receptions last week. Will Carter, again, one of the best quarterbacks in the county. And we all have to realize this is an Arnold team that went winless last year. They are 4-1, and they are flying. They are a team that they are impressive, and I believe they're top 20 in Class 3A ranking. So, they're a team that they keep on improving each week, and Coach Griffin has them firing on every cylinder.
All right, and then let's go to a school that I might just be affiliated with, but that's neither here nor there. Who do you have at number 1 in the power rankings?
At number 1, I have Mosley. They faced probably their toughest opponent up to now. They faced the Gambia. We know what they have. Nino Freeman, 6'5" quarterback. They have 4-star Ladarian Clardy. The thing was, during that game, though, Clardy seemed like he came into the game injured, and then that first half, it re-aggravated the injury. And I can't lie, something that might have affected that was mostly tight end Fletcher Taylor. Running him over on that way to that long touchdown run. So Mosley, they dominated on both sides of the ball once again. And Sammy Freitas back to dealing as he usually does. And Fletcher Taylor had a big game. Sophomore tight end, 2 touchdowns, went over 100 yards receiving. Lakavian does as Lakavian does, leads the county in rushing with 8 touchdowns. So,
Doug, what about his YPC real quick? I'm sorry to cut you off, but what about Lakavian Jackson's YPC, which for casuals would be yards per carry? Well, what do you think about that? Because the guy, and I haven't even researched it since last game, he was at 15.9 heading into last game, and now here we are. He had a 50-yard carry for a touchdown. The smallest gain that I've seen him have all year has been a 2-yard gain that he just experienced this last week. And then I have something else on Sammy Freitas.
Yeah, I mean, this kid, every time he touches the ball, he could go touch paint. He could go to the yard. He could go to the end zone. And it still blows my mind that he didn't play football since his freshman year. And he's come out. You already know he's getting recruited as a safety. But the fact that he's almost elite as a linebacker, outside linebacker, and elite as a running back, too, is what's so unbelievable about this kid and how he's able to operate and just find the right gap, find the right hole.
Do you know what he's being recruited as at Mississippi State?
I believe they have him recruited as a free safety.
Yeah. It's so funny to me because I'm like, well, he definitely has the football IQ to make that happen, and he's athletic enough to be anywhere on the field. It's just funny watching him play kind of that jack linebacker role, and then all of a sudden, you see him coming in as the running back for Sammy Freitas whenever, obviously Sammy Freitas is the quarterback, but he comes in a Ronnie Brown formation, if you will. It's been a lot of fun to watch Locavian Jackson play the game of football. And also, I got to say this about Sam Freitas. Mosley wins that game by 50 points easily had there not been a little bit of drop-itis, if you will, on behalf of the receivers. And I think that you just got to give credit, not saying you in particular, just in general. You got to give credit to Sam Freitas on how the receivers were dropping things, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to put this game on my legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been consistent for these past 2 games where we've seen receivers drop passes, but the fact that he still has confidence to keep on throwing to them, keep on trying it with them, I mean, it shows the trust and belief he has in his receivers. But also, I mean, I don't want to stray away from a guy who doesn't get enough recognition, Sammy Chisholm. Little Sammy, as they call him at the running back position.
Sammy Square is what I call him when they're back there together.
Exactly. He runs hard every time, gets those extra yards, and he I think is right behind Lakavian with, I believe, 6 rushing touchdowns. So he's a key contributor for this Mosley offense.
Well, you are a great contributor for sports that are going on here in the Panhandle, and we absolutely appreciate that. Benji, take care during this storm, and we'll see you back here soon, and hopefully next time we can get you back here in the studio because it was a lot of fun having you face to face.
Yes, sir. Stay safe.
All right, Benji Bombadella, y'all make sure to go subscribe to the Panama City News Herald and get your news sports-wise from Benji Bombadella and the Panama City News Herald. And Caveman Reg, you got something to say, or you just ready to go to break?
Let's go to break, man.
I think we'll make that happen. When we get back, we might have a new cohort in the building with us. We'll find out here in about 2.5 minutes or so.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
Got 8 seconds.
8 seconds for Paul Ritchie, my man. Good stuff there. If you end up being the winner, he's not on the air with us, is he?
No. I got his info and everything. So yeah, you keep listening, and maybe he'll be the winner.
Well, there you go, Paul. We do appreciate you.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, raining moderately and a temperature of 85 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southeast. Possible thunderstorms and sprinkles tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 74. A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain and 78 tomorrow. 82 and a possibility of thunderstorms in the early morning and then mostly sunshine with a strong breeze Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Mark your calendars. The Central Panhandle Fair in Bay County returns October the 1st through the 5th at the corner of Sherman Avenue and 15th Street. Great family fun for all. Enjoy famous carnival rides and amusements from around the world, delicious foods, arts and crafts, nightly exhibits, livestock, and much more at the 2024 Central Panhandle Fair in Bay County. October the 1st through the 5th, corner of Sherman Avenue and 15th Street, Panama City. Don't miss it.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Breaking weather.
All right, you got the Bone Crusher in the ESPN Northwest Florida Storm Center with the latest on Hurricane Helene. Here in Panama City and Bay County, we're expecting tropical storm conditions tomorrow with winds gusting around 35 miles an hour. Could peak, though, between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Rain impact's going to be about 3 to 7 inches, a very low threat of tornadoes here. We could see a few power outages, maybe even some temporary closing of the Hathaway Bridge, but overall, really good news for us. Our biggest fear is not going to be realized. Now, the line where the winds really start to pick up are going to be around Apalachicola, east of there with landfall, probably around the Tallahassee area tomorrow night, about 8 p.m., and now they're forecasting this to be a Cat 4 with winds at least 125 miles an hour. Storm surge will be a huge issue there as well. For those in the direct path of this hurricane, it will be a devastating storm. Now, for our listeners listening in Port St. Joe and Gulf County, you are right on the fringe. You can expect much stronger winds than here in Panama City. While you're not under a mandatory evacuation notice at this time, you are under a hurricane warning. Peak winds 40 to 50 miles an hour, but gusting 70 to 100 miles an hour. But overall, for the Panama City area, this is going to be a tropical storm event and really the best news we could have hoped for in this scenario. And finally, some closings to let you know about. Bay District schools closed tomorrow and Friday. After school events canceled for today and tomorrow. Gulf District schools will be closed Thursday and Friday. Also canceled, the game with Mosley in Milton was going to be tomorrow night in Milton. That's rescheduled for Monday, 6 o'clock, and we will have coverage of that right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Several local agencies in the Panhandle have also announced closures. All Florida Department of Health and Bay County offices will be closed tomorrow. Offices will remain closed until further notice. Bay County Courthouse is closed early today, but the clerk's office is going to be open Friday in the Bay County Courthouse. And finally, City Hall offices will also be closed Thursday in Panama City and Lynn Haven. We'll have another update on Hurricane Helene coming up at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Dadgummit, how am I supposed to pay my delinquent taxes?
No, they said the clerk office is going to be open on Friday so they can collect their money.
Oh, dadgummit.
That's what I was going to say kind of smartly is that they're going to be open to collect your money on Friday. Other stuff's not going to be open, but to take your cash, we're open 24/7.
Always on top of things, Caveman Rick.
You can pay online.
Did you notice that he didn't take a breath? Am I on?
You are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Hilliard in the building with the Afternoon
Her
Underdogs.
sentencing hearing is going to be postponed. Good news.
Oh, my goodness. And as always, on Wednesday, what do we wear? Pink, and I wore my closest variation of pink that I had today, which I think they call
your
this
underwear.
Infrared. Oh, wow. We don't want to go there because those are absolutely lacy and pink. Infrared.
Do you need to tell us something? Are you like Joe Burrow?
Am I like Joe Burrow? Yeah, I'm a great quarterback. I drive the ball down the field.
I was wondering what got into him today.
Easily injured.
Isn't they've been really
I'm pretty sure he's hiding on us. I'm pretty sure. He's in there.
Wow, dude. I wonder why he was such a good mood today. It's the satin. It's the silk.
And we'll see what brings tomorrow to us. So, with that being said, thank you for your shade that you've thrown today, Morgan, and I appreciate
More like an
that.
eclipse again, not like a shade from a tree or something.
I will negate all of those things and bring the sun right back to us. This is it. This is the last week that you're going to be on the show with us. So for all of our viewers who are clamoring every week, like, is Morgan going to be on? Is Morgan going to be on? Like, yeah. We'll find out.
Maybe not. I mean, it was a close call against Bowling Green. If they have another close game like that, she might be doing like a J, trying to find a new team.
I don't think people
we're not going to start there.
That.
What do you mean?
I don't think people actually ask for if I'm going to be here.
They
That's
do.
not
They want to know for their viewing pleasures if you're going to be here or not. Because then if you're going to be here, they're like, all right, I'll tune back in afterwards, and you're going to be here.
It's such a contrast for people who watch us on YouTube. They start the morning with Schmitty with Wildcat's face. Guy he needs a makeup artist or something. That is one ugly old dude. Now you come in. Now you watch. Now you got the beautiful Morgan.
Yeah, there you go.
Night and day.
My makeup's in my car. You can just stop by my work in the mornings.
Wait. Would you mind putting my face on each morning?
Get the glam squad up in here.
I would love to. I do bring a sort of pizzazz. Always in pink. I got a bejeweled
Look at that.
cup
That is
today.
such a ugh.
Are you hating on the cup or are you hating on pink? What? I don't know what's happening here.
Oh, definitely the cup.
Okay, word.
Yeah,
I mean, I
pink's,
respect that.
Pink's is it's a color.
It. At least it's not like a Stanley cup. I really don't understand that. Like, if you're gonna put
You're one of those people who,
if you're gonna put all those trinkets and stuff on it, you might as well just carry a purse. That's why I carry a big purse all the time.
What about the Stanley Cup again now?
Yeah, here we go.
I don't hate.
Here we go. 850-215-6290. What do you think about Stanley Cups?
I don't hate Stanley Cups, but why are we putting trinkets and little pouches and stuff on them? Like, if you're gonna put a pouch in and put your
that's
whole
for many
thing in it?
letters.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why are you not just carrying a purse? Carry a fanny pack.
Don't hate on fanny packs.
I'm not hating on the fanny packs.
Because I actually have one in my truck. Anytime that I'm getting out
we used to call them something else besides that back in the day, though.
I'm surprised that you ain't got the get into that.
I could say it. I just don't want to get the station in trouble,
So it is that far negative?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah, I almost have a pretty good idea of where that's headed to. But I do want to remind you guys that at 5:40, we are going to announce a caller who was listening to the Coach Hale Show at 7:15 and 8:15 and you guys. When you're listening to the Coach Hale Show at 7:15 and 8:15, they're going to give you a keyword. You take that keyword and you text it and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Then listen back at 12:40 and 5:40. If we announce your name, race to the phones and give us a call back. How long it takes you to call, which the qualifying time right now to this point is 8 seconds. Shout out to Paul Ritchie. The two fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to the Yellowwood 500 and passes to the United Reynolds 250 on October 5th.
And we're gonna up our game.
Oh!
We're gonna toss in some of those Friday truck racing tickets too.
We got some Craftsman. Oh, Craftsman truck racing here. So you're going to get a whole weekend of Talladega. So if things do not go your way this weekend, you can go up there to Talladega and at least take a weekend off, right? It's kind of hard to do that. I've been there, done that. But I was here the whole entire time. So I have heard from people how anxious it is when you leave and then you try to come back and you're not able to and all of that good stuff. So, but again, what I would say is what Caveman Rick said earlier, which is
chop off.
Well, my goodness gracious. Do what you think is best for your family, and that would not be chopping off, because if you're a Braves fan, we need you to chop on 100%. Is the game postponed tonight? 100% absolutely. With that being said, the Braves are still looking for a playoff spot. Bone Crusher, I did tell you that we would try to get into the Chiefs and the Falcons game because we were, I would say, rudely interrupted by that guy back there behind the glass. What's
I'm
your thoughts
wearing
on
my
that?
team gear. Whoa, what's he
Stop
wearing
it!
over there?
Stop it! Stop! I know I can't turn your mic off from back here, but I will. What's your thoughts on that game?
I'll be quick because I want to make sure Morgan gets enough mic time here.
He's got a whole hour in the next hour.
I'm excited about the
We're trying to keep
Falcons.
that slow down.
Boy, if you're a Falcons fan listening right now, you're like, oh my God, they're talking about the Falcons.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
My goodness.
Yeah, we looked really good against Kansas City. I thought, you mentioned the Zebras, the officiating, right? There was a pass interference in the end zone that should have resulted in us first and goal. And, but I don't want to be the guy that complains about the refs. I'll complain about our own play calling, going forward on fourth down so much. We could have had that field goal and been down by 2. The play calling at the end really kind of, we're all armchair quarterbacks. We sit there and like, all right, I'm calling this. And then we see what the guys call. And when we're right and they're wrong, we're like,
it's easy, yeah.
Yeah.
But how often do you play Madden?
You're taking, I have played so much Madden in my day. I'm really good.
But currently, though.
Yeah, I don't have any Madden right now.
Right.
But I don't think the concepts have changed.
No, they haven't. Offense has gotten a little bit better,
points
but
off the board. I'm kicking that field goal. I'm going to be down by 2, and I'm going to let my defense handle it.
And I think that does two things. It changes the Chiefs' mindset moving down the field in their last drive, but also then it gives the Falcons an opportunity to, instead of having to deal with what the referees bring to the table, gives you an opportunity to go up by 1. So I actually agree wholeheartedly with that. And also, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get Bone Crusher Madden. So with that being said, send in your donations. I know it's a perfect time to send in donations. 850-215-62.
I bought a copy of Madden. It's in the production room.
Yeah?
It's like an old, 2005 or something.
2002. Dante Culp.
Yeah,
no, it is 5.
I tried to load it up. It's like, no, you got to have Windows 98, dude, or you can't, or Windows XP. You're not running this game.
Are you a PC gamer when it comes down to that?
Yeah, I had the Sega, the Super Nintendo. Then it was all about PC gaming. But I really wish I had I want my own console. I don't want to play on the computer.
I'm sorry, a sweaty guy?
A sweat means that you're really good at gaming. And so for people like me, if I'm playing someone who's really good, I'm like, oh, that guy, his palms are sweaty or whatever. You know what I mean?
Before I got married, I was the bomb. Yeah, I was really good.
I think he definitely needs a PS5. I think he needs a PS5. I don't think you need to go Xbox.
So Morgan, first donation from Morgan is $250.
He already got my donation. I recorded a cameo for him so he didn't have to say the word Barbie. I took that for the team.
Oh, so now we're going deep into the trenches here. Shout out to that. This guy right here, man, he keeps this station running at he keeps all of us in line. I'm a dummy.
I can't do anything about Coach Hale, but I do what I can.
I'm pretty daggum dumb.
He plays by his own rules. He's a lone wolf.
Well, sometimes there's got to be a lone wolf to lead the pack, if you will. But Bone Crusher does a great job in keeping us all in line here.
Well, thank you for making it about me.
And, no, I'm not making it about you. I'm just giving you some credit.
He's more like a wild
Morgan, let's just back off a little bit.
What? No, I love Bone Crusher. He's fantastic. He always says hi to me when I come in, and we have our nice little chat while you're in here yapping, and we do our thing, and we say hi.
Takes me back to last week when you started for the last 2 weeks, Bone Crusher. Let's just get some therapy out of the way.
Who's playing footsie with me?
Me, dude. Come on now.
I was hoping it was Morgan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't mess up the princess heels. Sparkly.
You got sparkly heels on the Marsha.
They're sparkly.
The gold standard here at Gold Standard Broadcasting. The past 2 weeks, she's thrown shade at me, and the comment choir, if you will, has really been on her side. And
Good.
I just... There it is.
See?
There's I'm going to get up off the couch now and just realize that it is what it is.
The good thing about David is he can take a punch like that. He can go with the flow. He can joke at himself. He can laugh at himself. So that's a great quality there. And I'm really interested to hear what rants Morgan's brought to the table, because when we talk before she goes on, I'm like, what are you bringing? What's your fastball today?
Well, the problem with that is we'll get how about we do this? We'll get a little highlight. I learned last night what the difference in highlights and lowlights were, and I still don't remember what they are.
I was going to say I was proud of you, but never mind.
But a stylist taught me what they were. With that being said, let's go to your highlights and your lowlights, Morgan, of the Texas A&M Aggies against the Bowling Green team. My goodness gracious, they're so bad. I don't even remember what their mascot is. I think this is the Falcons, right? Bowling Green Falcons.
Know what their mascot
you
is.
just watched the whole 60 minutes of your team almost
I
getting
was
beat.
chugging liquor the whole time.
Okay, the truth beats old, ladies and gentlemen.
Did not go very well. I already told you the other week
let's
that
not
no
go
one
that
can hurt
far.
me, but Aggie could hurt
They
me.
almost hurt you a lot. Huh?
Aggie could hurt me.
It was almost to the point where we were never going to see Morgan again here on ESPN
I was
Northwest
texting you
Florida.
crashing out. I was like on full on crash mode. I'm pretty sure one of the texts I sent you was like, I'll never come back.
Close enough. I think that's a fair way to put it. But I guess we're teasing people because it's time for a break. So with that being said, ESPN Northwest Florida is what you're tuned into. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. David Hayes, Bone Crusher, Morgan. I almost said Wallen, but it's actually Hilliard. If it was Morgan Wallen, we probably have a little bit better numbers this afternoon. Caveman Rick as well. Yes, Caveman, you might be shaking your head, but we would have better numbers if Morgan Wallen was in the studio. We're going to be right back after these paid messages.
Come on.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Obviously, some of the talk conversations right now are currently tropical. It hadn't been named yet. It's Tropical Cyclone 9, soon to be Helene or something like that. Yeah.
Helene.
Yeah. Every time I hear that,
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, raining moderately and a temperature of 85 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southeast. Possible thunderstorms and sprinkles tonight, a gentle breeze and warm near 74. A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain and 78 tomorrow. 82 and a possibility of thunderstorms in the early morning and then mostly sunshine with a strong breeze Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
All roads lead to adventures this fall in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover our Kia SUV family and get ready to forge a brand new path. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 2.49% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. It's the best family SUV with third row seating space for the entire family to unwind. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us anytime at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento with $1,775 per $1,000 financed at 60 months. Qualities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/30/24.
The Braves have battled through a lot this season, and now the battle turns to the playoffs as the Braves try to lock up their spot in October.
Swung on and rocked down the left field line. Rolling down the line all the way to the wall. 2-1 Atlanta here in the fourth.
Tonight, division rivals clash at Truist Park in Atlanta, and the stakes are high as the Braves face off against Pete Alonso and the New York Mets.
Coverage coming up at 6 right here on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. I don't even know why I'm bringing in because it's the Morgan Madness show, and that's what she brings to the table is absolute madness. With that being said, I think we got some picks to make.
I'm ready.
I'm a little sad, though, that AG's not in.
Yeah, why isn't AG here?
He's scared.
I'll give you... No, don't do that.
Messing.
Don't do that.
Just playing.
I'll give you a guess. And if you guess correctly...
I'm going to guess
kudos.
hurricane prep.
Exactly. That's exactly why he's out. He had to get the animals and all of that stuff prepped up. So with that being said, of course, we miss AG and we would love for him to be here. However, I am never going to get mad at people doing what's best for their family. That's what matters the most, right?
Yep. I agree.
So I love you, AG. Fano, as most of our YouTube listeners aren't even here because AG's not here. And that's...
You said I had like this whole little fan club and they're not even here. You know what? I'm pretty sure you're lying to me, but it's okay. It's fine.
Well, maybe they just tuned in because you're on. Yeah. Parker Seago said, bring on Barbie, praying for everyone in the path of the storm. Went through Harvey in 2016. Stay safe. So that was over there in Houston, Texas.
Let's make some picks.
Yeah, let's make picks. Because I was going to say, let's talk about this. I was like, no one wants to hear about Texas A&M in there. Oh, well, daggum. That's our walkie-talkies.
I know no one wants to hear about it. I'm a little scared to talk about it. But
yeah, I would be if I was you. But I'm going to be making my picks along with you guys as well. And you've got a little pretty pink pen right there.
I remembered my pink pen today because Thanos not here to share a pen with me.
That's also a hurricane remembrance, right? PPP. Oh, no, that's COVID, huh?
What? Hang on.
PPP?
Personal protection equipment, PPE.
I don't know. There was something that had to do with three P's back in the day. Oh, PPE.
Yeah, personal protection equipment, PPE.
Well, while I'm in the middle of not remembering things, let me remember this for you guys. The Mosley Dolphins will not be taking on Milton High this weekend. That game will be moved to Monday at 6 p.m., so I'll be in Pensacola Monday at 6 p.m. to bring you guys the coverage of the Mosley Dolphins and Milton High at 6 p.m. on Monday evening. So it's going to be Coach Brian Haddad's show this Monday, and I'm sure that a lot of people are very excited about that, as a lot of people probably was like, can you just shut up and let Morgan talk so we can see her? All right, fine, fair enough, whatever. Let's get into it. Week 4, it's our pick 'em. Morgan did so great last week. I think you were undefeated.
Shut your mouth.
Washington at Rutgers is where we're going to start. With that being said, Miss Morgan, how about you lead us off, Barbie?
Can I say something honest? What the heck is a Rutger?
It's the Scarlet Knight.
Rutgers is the name of the school.
What is
the
that?
The Scarlet Knights are their mascot.
I think I've only seen that word like one time in my life.
How about you go to New Jersey and get culturized, okay?
It's actually New Jersey State, in a way.
You know what? I'm going to let Caveman own you. I'm not even going to comment to you.
Just saying, I used to live in New Jersey. I'm from there.
Morgan's a great friend of the show here. Actually, a Texas A&M pundit, if you will, if you need those things.
Anyways, since I don't even know what that is, let's go with Washington. I don't even know what that is.
All right. Caveman Rick.
Oh, yeah. Again, where am I from?
New Jersey.
Taking New Jersey State, Scarlet Knights, Greg Schiano, keep chopping wood, baby.
All right, with that being said, I do tend to wear old jerseys on this show a lot, and I'm not a big fan of New Jersey. Not that I'm not a fan, or it's neither here nor there, to be quite frank with you.
Probably never
Rutgers,
been. I don't know. Probably never been.
Yeah,
if you don't know, you probably haven't.
Exactly. It definitely didn't land on my mindset. So with that being said, I'm going to take Rutgers here. They're a pretty dang good football team, a little underrated at 3-0 at this point, and we're a big underdog, not a big underdog, but an underdog nonetheless to Virginia Tech, and they took care of business. So I will take the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, who are a 2.5-point favorite in this game.
Hotbed of college football, New Jersey.
Yes, exactly. Right. I mean, that's where the first college football game.
Should I change my pick? Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm going to keep my pick.
Hey! Finally, she throws shade against someone else other than me. Number 20, Oklahoma State taking on Avery Johnson and the Wildcats of Kansas State here. Kansas State, a 4.5-point favorite, but they struggled mightily. I don't even know if struggled is the right term. It was a very tumultuous Saturday night evening for the Wildcats against the Cougars. but the Cowboys come to town here, and Kansas State's a favorite. Let's start with you, Caveman Rick.
Yeah, both of these teams disappointed this past weekend, right? Oklahoma State also lost. I had them picked to win, too.
22-19 to Utah.
It's kind of tough for me, between these two teams. Being that said, I'm going to take the home team just because both of those teams are coming off a bad loss, I feel. So give me the home team to win.
I love these from Parker Seago. Man, that's a great name for a business. It's like, kind of Cito, but instead of that, you just see go. And with that being said, he said, do not talk about Texas A&M. We're going to have a mid-off against Arkansas, which is a very new term word. That's like saying no notes.
More at 520.
More at 520 or less if I decide so. Just kidding. You're here at 520, and so we will be talking about Texas A&M. But he also says that Rutgers was named after Henry Rutgers, who's a Revolutionary War hero.
I didn't even know that.
So shout out to you, Seago. You need to come be a part of the Afternoon Underdogs.
You can't choose my group chat members over me. That's what we're not going to do.
But does he live in Panama?
No, I'm pretty sure Parker lives in Corpus Christi, and he...
No go. Never mind. Everything I just said was...
Take it all back. No, I'm going to keep him. He's cool.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he can't come in and do the show physically because...
Turn my camera off for a second.
Can you get the camera off of Morgan here? That is... listen... There's been a bunch of firsts that's happened here in Northwest Florida. I'll let you know. All right, you're good. That has never happened. Whereas I was like, "Can you get that camera off of me?" Normally during the break, sometimes I'm like, "Caveman Rick, like I'm trying to vape here, bro. Like get that thing off."
Okay,
me.
you can bring it back now.
Back on camera. Here we go. Louisville at Notre Dame, number 15 team in the land.
You didn't let me pick. Rude. I'm gonna go with Kansas State as well.
I don't think I even picked.
Oh, well, you didn't even let me pick. You were too busy talking.
There's a bat in the cave.
That's what I do, right? Just talk smack.
No, I've had a lot of allergies. You rude. Kyle Alberton, rude. Everyone's being rude to me.
All right, here we go.
Anyways, sorry.
Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Who you got?
I'm going Kansas State.
Kansas State. All right. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State and the Cowboys. It really disappointed me how Oklahoma State performed in that game against Utah, especially having the Doak Campbell Award winner in Ollie Gordon. But with that being said, I believe they bounced back here. I'm not entirely sure what Kansas State brings to the table, but they are going to be happy to be back in the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas. With that being said, we move on to the third game here, and we might take 3 hours going through this pick'em. Number 15 in the land, that is the Cardinals of Louisville, and they're taking on Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, if you will. They are the Fighting Irish hosting the Cards here, and for Randy, I'm going to start this one off, and I'm going to say I got the Cardinals in this game. I got the Cardinals taking down the Fighting Irish here, and that should get me a pay raise of at least 1 penny here in the next year. So if you can add that to
Randy,
my salary, that'd be
Louisville,
great.
Can I get paid finally?
I think he's listening. So just you got it, boss.
Is that something about a pay raise or something in there?
Well, pay raise for me, and then she said if she picks Louisville, can she get paid?
I don't know who's paying her. I mean, if you want to pay her something, that's up to you. I tell you what, I'll swap you $1 right now for those Vienna sausages right there.
Well, dadgummit, son, I got about 6 of them over there. I tell you what, brother, if something does end up going down and you're surviving the storm with Dave, we're going to get through this thing.
I'm telling you what, it's getting crazy.
It is.
It's jogged a little bit to the west.
Oh, my goodness. We need another update from Bone Crusher, man. And that's coming up in 10 minutes at 5:20. Bone Crusher is going to keep you up with the latest of what's going on with Hurricane Helene here. Louisville, Notre Dame. We're going to skip over Morgan here. Thoughts don't matter. No, I'm just kidding. Morgan, what's up?
Oh, my God. I don't even have a comeback for that one. You know what? I'm going to go Louisville just because I like it. I like the way it sounds. I like saying it. I like saying it a lot more than Neutrotomy. So you know what? Everything. I always pick my pick'ems off of like narratives completely. Yeah. And that's my own narrative.
That's what I think one of my favorite things among many of Morgan is the filthy narratives side of things. I really do enjoy that. Also, I'm like looking at your nails.
I got them re-beveled. You see that?
Noticed.
Re-beveled.
I don't even know what beveled means. Does that mean like shapes?
I think that's the way that they
No,
use that
that's
term to like get more money out of the women. Like, hey, we beveled
You want
them
these
for
things
you?
beveled or
It
not?
has nothing to do with the nails. It has everything to do with the way the Texas A&M logo is presented now, and like the
Oh
way
yeah,
it's
like
done.
the 3D-ness to it.
Yes,
Is that
it's-
fair?
Sure, we'll go with that. I'm gonna just
No,
let you
no,
have that.
no.
But
Don't
anyways,
let me
you
have
should have
nothing.
saw my nail tech's face the last 2 times I went to get my nails done. I was like, "Can we bevel these?" And
So
he
they-
just looked at me and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
They Daryl
said it
beveled
just
your
like that.
nails?
Yeah, they double
Daryl beveled them? Daryl bevel.
Double barreled them?
Like,
No,
they-
Like
double
a,
bevel.
oh, double
and
beveled.
I'm saying Daryl Bevel, like the name Daryl Bevel.
Yeah.
If you're,
Oh, I don't know. The kind of,
We're going way over some heads here, and that is okay because I think that.
okay, man, Rick, I think you should pick your pick.
I think
I like how- I like how
Pinky
you
needs to- but anyway, all right.
Say that again.
Pinky needs to like calm down.
Oh wow!
I'm going
so
to-
why are you only talking trash about me and like everyone else could just say whatever it is they want to say?
Call me Blondie, like Pinky. I would.
I
take
didn't call
that.
you- I
I've
never
always
called
said
you
Pinky.
Blondie.
Like I just.
But I never called you Blondie though.
Yeah, but also like we have the most rapport, so it's easier to be mean to you.
All right, Michael
because-
Rapport. Let's go ahead.
It's easy to be mean to me, man. Everybody does. I'll take Louisville. Used to it, yeah.
Goodness
Pretty
gracious,
abrasive,
dude.
you know?
This right here is just taking me for a whirlwind. We're going to Jordan here. All right. The Sooners, sooner than later, might get their first SEC win, but not before they take on the Tigers of Auburn. You can listen to this game. 1:30 coverage starts, Lord willing. 2:30 for the kick. Number 21 in the land, the Oklahoma Sooners travel to Auburn, Alabama to take on the Tigers. What do you got with this one? We'll let you lead off.
Are
Morgan.
you looking at me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of spaced out for a second. My bad. The blonde showing. Wow. I was kind of disappointed. You can laugh. I was kind of like disappointed with Oklahoma over the weekend, but they did try to stay in there. I don't know. Give me Oklahoma.
You definitely weren't just disappointed with Oklahoma in this game. Now, these are 2 games that I made updates to. They were current yesterday, but when I sent you the pick'em, you didn't see the yellow. So with that being said, it's kind of changed a little bit. That means that Illinois is a 18.5 point dog.
Are you even looking at the right one? Because that's Illinois and Penn State.
Yeah, so
we're
hold
still
on.
going Oklahoma,
So Oklahoma,
Auburn,
I
yeah.
haven't picked yet, but
Yeah.
so I'll take Oklahoma though. Thanks.
All right. I'm going Oklahoma as well. I
You're
skipped over
all
myself.
over
I'm just
That's
messing with you, man.
How about you just pay attention to what I say, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go to number 19, Illinois. They're taking on Penn State. The Nittany Lions are hosting here, and they're an 18.5 point favorite. And I was just trying to be nice enough to let you know that maybe last night what I sent you wasn't 100% of the ordeal because we're utilizing the spread here. Penn State, 18.5 point favorite, and that means they have to win by 19 points or more. I'll start with this one.
Is that how the spread works?
Well, yes.
right.
I'm explaining it for the listeners, man. If you
Just
come at
asking.
me like that one more time, I'm going to come through that glass like a daggum spider monkey jacked up on Mountain Dew provided by Buffalo Rock.
I'm jacked up on Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. I
So
think you win.
I got wings, Joe.
I think you win at that point. I'm going to take Illinois here to stick within 19 points. Penn State looked great against Kent State. Who hasn't? Penn State also struggled with a team that we're going to be talking about in 520, Bowling Green, which I still do believe they are the Falcons. With that being said, I got Illinois here in the Fighting Illini.
Okay. Who's picking next?
You.
Well, before I pick, I just want to let you know that I like my Jesus like I like to party with a mullet and a tuxedo T-shirt. And if you know, if you know, you know.
Well, if you was listening to what I said prior to that, you better daggone know. My goodness gracious, sweet
Anyways,
Jesus.
Wow. I'm gonna go with Penn State.
All right.
Yeah, Penn State usually scores points they need to cover the spread. It's in the evening. It's in Happy Valley. Give me Penn State at home.
All right, now we're going to move on to another spread game. Colorado at the Golden Knights of Central Florida. Shout out to Randy Pittman, former Mosley Dolphin, now playing tight end for the Golden Knights of Central Florida. Central Florida needs to beat the Colorado Buffaloes by 15. The over-under is not surprisingly high, but just high at 63.5 here. Caveman Rick, what you got?
Yeah, Colorado, they just kind of, they don't got it, man. I don't see it with them. So give me UCF at the house, man. And with the points.
All right. I think UCF wins this game, but I think it's a 7-point game or better. So with that being said, I'm picking Colorado to cover the spread. However, I think UCF wins the game. Morgan.
I'm picking UCF. One, I think they'll win it because it's a home game, and also I really don't like anything that's going on in Colorado right now. Give me UCF.
Wow, you don't like Hail Marys?
I don't like a lot of people.
I said Hail Marys.
Oh, well, yeah, but I was talking about people.
Fair enough. With that being said, we move on to the next game. Washington State is taking on the number 21 team in the land, the Broncos of Boise State. Boise State, 7.5-point favorite, y'all. Washington State, the Cougars are undefeated, but they travel here to the blue turf fields of Boise State, and they over-under a little higher than Colorado and UCF, almost surprisingly to me, I would say, 64.5. One of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the land for the Boise State Broncos here. Let's start with David. How about you go first? All right, I'll do that. I really like Washington State this year, man. I think that they're a team that kind of gets... like if you were making spaghetti, there would be an ingredient that you left out and you'd be like, man, we really need to add this in for it to taste the correct way. And that's how I feel about the Cougars of Washington State. So with that being said, I know that we're talking about Genty, the one of the best running backs in the game. I'm going to take the Cougars here, though. Whoever wants to go next can.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead. Whoa, all right, so I'll do it. Give me Boise State. Give me at home. Good running back. Going to run all over the middle-aged women. I love middle-aged women right now, but not in this game.
Fair enough. All right. And a little bit younger than a middle-aged woman, a lot bit younger than a middle-aged woman would be Morgan. What's your thoughts there?
What are we defining as middle-aged? Because I feel like I'm almost there. You know what?
Almost there would mean that you're younger than a middle-aged woman.
Yeah,
so let's just go with that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my life is falling apart. Give me Boise State.
Normally happens when you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. So
if you're not sure, you're probably already there.
You know what?
Wow.
Absolutely.
A little bit rude there. A little bit rude there.
That's not. It's just like saying. That's like saying if you're in the room and you can't spot the sucker, you're probably the sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! Yes, real facts.
Yeah.
Word.
Dislike.
I'm
Are we
excited
still
to talk
on
about this next one. Okay,
all right,
anyways.
wait.
Georgia, I said
FSU,
Boise State.
SMU.
No,
we're saving the
on
best for
Georgia,
last. We're saving the best
Alabama.
for last.
What makes it the
best for
best?
last?
Because it's Alabama and it's his filthy narrative.
It's not even my filthy narrative. I have no.
You have Mo notes?
Well, I was going to say no thoughts. But
Mo notes.
Mo notes is Morgan's notes each week here. FSU, SMU. SMU, 5.5-point favorite on their first game where they are the host of an ACC game here. I think SMU wins by more than 10, and I'm sticking to it. And I love FSU fans to a great extent. Not all of you, because a lot of you guys are crybabies. But with that being said, I do like SMU in this game, and I hate it, man, because I thought FSU was going to have a really good season. And if you guys are, you should be excited about that win. But if you watch that game and would sit here and tell me to my face, like, I thought FSU was so good in that game. Like, you need to go look in the mirror and have a long, hard conversation about what you saw that last weekend, because Cal's kicker, man, that really messed it up for him. Love you guys, though. 850-215-6290. If you have any problems with that, you can text those messages to
Max Delyden.
Well, send them there, and then we'll send them to Max, and he'll get them accounted for, if you will. FSU, SMU. David's taking SMU.
Yeah,
Morgan.
give me the Pony
Okay.
Express, too. I'll just do real quick.
I thought we weren't putting FSU on the pick'ems anymore.
They won.
Oh,
They won.
crap. Why do we have to keep doing this, man? I'm also taking SMU.
All right. Hey, Parker Seago agrees with me saying that was an ugly win by FSU. But I'll say this, and I mean this. A win is a win nonetheless. I don't care how you get it done. I don't care how you get it done.
I want you to remember that right now. I want you to look in the mirror and remember what you are saying. Remember this.
And I will calm down whenever you're talking about Texas A&M and like what happened last week. I didn't watch a single second of
Why
that
do
game.
you even bring me on this show? You don't even pay attention. Is it so I can tell you all the things? Like, you don't even pay attention to anything.
I do pay,
You don't pay attention to anything.
The reason you're on the show is because I don't pay attention to Texas A&M. I need someone who does pay attention to that school to come on and give us. Otherwise, I'm like 130 schools deep of what I'm like every single second. Doesn't matter who you are, but if you're Texas A&M, daggum, you spend way too much on your NIL to get me paid. I'm just kidding.
Do you like keep a notes app on your phone and like write down all the games? Like that's what I do.
So funny?
As I'm watching the games, like I have my notes app open and I'm like writing things down.
You know what's so funny is there's been so many weekends where I have like sat there and just never used them. Never used them on the air.
That is so crazy. Everything I write down over the weekend, I bring to the show with me because it's everything that made me throw up, scream, cry, all the things.
I'm usually doing 12-inch curls.
That's like a full cycle there.
And
12-inch curls?
Yeah, and I'm a little preoccupied.
12-ounce curls or 12-inch curls?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was like, well, all right.
All right, it's 5:22. Make your pick 'em.
We got look, we're not leaving at 5:40. We're going to 5:57. Are you excited about that?
Yes. You never told me if we were ending early or not. Okay, cool. Run with it.
You never asked. And I've got a lot of things going on. You got a lot of things going on. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? Like, no, you don't got a lot of things going on. It's hurricane season. Speaking of that,
it means I'm not listening.
5:40. No. Next segment, we're going to have an update from Bone Crusher on what's going on with the weather. Cincinnati, Texas Tech, then we're going to take a break, then we'll come back. No, we can't. Yes, that's what we'll do. All right, so game plan, audible, Green 18, Omaha. We're going to pick this game, and then we'll come back and finish the last 6 games at 5:40. Prior to that, we're going to hear a little bit of cheese, a little bit of wine from Morgan Hilliard on the Texas A&M Aggies. Cincinnati, Texas Tech, who you got?
Texas Tech.
All right, what do you got?
Give me Wright State Chris's team, Cincinnati Bearcats.
I'm right there with you, cuz. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bearcats over the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Do you agree? I don't care. Make your own picks. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Right back after this with a weather update from Bone Crusher.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
It's your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 Sunday, October 6th. Step 1, listen to Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Step 2, text the keyword in your racing name to 850-215-6290. Step 3, listen to 1240 and 540. If we announce your name, race to the phones and call us back for your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 from your racing station.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Wednesday evening. As we head into tonight, sprinkles and a low of 74 with a moderate breeze out of the east at 13 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, moderate rain and a temp near 77. In the afternoon and evening, heavily raining and a high around 79. For Friday, moderate rain and a high of 82. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Breaking weather.
Afternoon Underdogs.
All right, you got Bone Crusher in the ESPN Northwest Florida Storm Center with the latest on Hurricane Helene. We do have an update since the last report. Now, to be honest, we just don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but basically, the storm's going to hit landfall tomorrow night about 8 o'clock, probably around Tallahassee in that Big Bend area as a Cat 4. However, the spaghetti models have shifted just a little bit since our last report, and unfortunately, that hurricane warning line is now run right down Lynn Haven and Parker. So we have to keep a really close eye on that. Most likely, what we're going to see here in the Panama City area is going to be tropical storm conditions, winds gusting 35 to 45, peaking 60 to 70, rain impact 3 to 7 inches, low threat of tornado. We could see some power outages. The Hathaway Bridge could get closed down at times. We really thought this was going to be kind of a good news where it was just going to be far enough to the east that we were going to evade the worst of it, but we just don't know now. All right, that's what we're dealing with.
These live updates kind of suck.
Yeah.
Not because you're bringing them. It's just like one of those like, well, wasn't expecting that one there, Bone Crusher.
I mean, the mood a half an hour ago was a little bit different. Every one of those little wobbles or ticks to the left really can result in a big impact on us.
You used to say, I love the way you wobble, and now it's just...
Don't do that again.
So we're going to have to really watch this closely. We're not under an evacuation notice at this time, but that's something to definitely keep an eye on. The line where the winds are really going to be picking up is going to be around Apalachicola. East of there, it's going to be pretty gnarly. Landfall near Tallahassee, 8 o'clock, Cat 4, winds 125 miles an hour, storm surge up to 20 feet over there. That's going to be, I mean, it could be gone. They could be gone. So if you're in the direct path, it's going to be a pretty devastating storm. Now, for our listeners over in Port St. Joe,
Morgan's like, I gotta leave.
I got things. Let's just. I'm ready.
The cars are warming up over in the parking lot.
Holy cow!
But for our listeners in Port St. Joe who are out that way, Gulf County, all right, you're right on the fringe. You're going to get some pretty strong storm winds tomorrow. 40 to 50 miles an hour, could peak 70 to 100 miles an hour.
I think I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for ruining my guess here, but no. But the thing is what's more imperative is the people who we're talking to right now are hearing this because they might still be at work, right? And now, because of Bone Crusher and his judiciousness and keeping us up to date, that's one thing, man. I don't know if this Afternoon Underdogs is a 10% of professional as it can be sometimes without Bone Crusher like, dude, what are you doing?
What would you say you do here?
How many people work here? I'd say 20%.
Yeah, so I've been following this all day. I mean, I've been following this really closly for days now. I mean, since they locked up P. Diddy, this has been the story. Right?
Are you kidding me? I've been following P. Diddy
I know, right?
Crazy.
How many parties you been to?
I haven't been to many. Thank
Not
God,
many?
Apparently, yeah.
Graduation time.
So yeah, we're gonna have a hurricane party here, freak off happening.
Don't be too meek, okay?
So
no, I got to go home now.
if you need a shelter in place, we're having a freak off.
All right.
So,
wait, what are we doing?
See,
we're having a hurricane party / freak off. Yeah.
Someone bring the baby oil, or else we're not going to be able to have this thing.
I hope no one reads that indictment to know what that means.
We're talking about the storm. We're talking about P. Diddy and how really, those are the two big stories on our radar right now.
Fair enough. And that P. Diddy is not a picture you want to see coming onto your radar there. This is ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 Panama City, where we merge great news with good news, and sometimes bad news has to come in between both of those things. But we'll just keep it monitored here. We have Joanna, right? And we have...
Yeah, Dave picked up a can of Vienna sausages.
Not a can, dog. That's one can. I just had that for the camera. I got 6 cans.
It reminds me of an article that came out called "What's for Dinner, Diddy." They showed you the menu of the commissary, the cafeteria there in the prison, and I think Diddy's still eating better than you and me.
Actually, no, he's actually starving himself right now because he's afraid that someone's going to try to poison him. I think he actually might be afraid that they will try to, Epstein him while he's in there.
Oh.
He's actually starving himself because he's scared that someone might poison him for all the things.
How close is your line with P. Diddy?
I just be reading stuff.
What's his first name?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Here's an interesting question.
Sean Combs.
Okay, so he's changed his name so many times, right?
Mhm.
So when each of these charges are brought up,
Puff Daddy was just a little bit too much giving away.
Is it
the indictment lists every single affiliated name he's ever
That's what I'm
gone
saying.
under.
But so is it this person versus P. Diddy, this person
No,
versus
it's
Sean Combs, this person
Sean
versus Puffy,
Combs,
this
also
you know
known
what I'm
as P.
saying?
Diddy,
It'd be a
Puff
bunch of
Daddy,
different
whatever.
Yeah.
It includes all his aliases and affiliates and anything that he's ever called himself. It lists in either of his indictments because I've read both of them. The first one was 73 pages. The second one was 14.
Well, you are a law person, so
yeah, okay.
It's
That
good.
makes sense.
It's good studying
Maybe we should
material,
ask her
man.
some questions about
It's good
P. Diddy
studying
here.
material.
So, what I'm trying to nail down on the P. Diddy thing is he locking these sex workers, these prostitutes up and forcing them, or was it consensual?
Let's pull back to what you just said.
Hey, get the camera off me for a second.
Let's pull back to what you just said. You said baby oil. I'm pretty sure that it's not even
said
baby
that,
oil. I think baby oil is mixed with something, and actually there was something pause.
Did you get the camera off?
There was actually something released earlier that said that this baby oil was infused with some type of drug, and when it comes in contact with skin, it pretty much paralyzes you.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, you weren't ready for that. I know I wasn't ready
I'll
for
have
that.
what she's having.
That's what I put on the babies
a little
before
bit of baby oil.
You guys
Why
already
not?
knew I pull up with my facts, and I've got the facts.
But is it
here.
facts?
To be determined.
To be determined.
Stay tuned because I'll come back with more.
Oh, I love the man. We just got a wad of tinfoil on our head today. It's funny how we get in trouble for some of our constituents here
That
on the
sounds like
show
that.
talking about politics, but yeah, we could sit here and dive into something like this.
Sounds like that Batman, Michael Keaton Batman with the Joker putting stuff in the chemicals in the all the products, beauty products and stuff.
What Batman was Michael Keaton?
Original Batman, man.
Original?
Michael
OG?
Like
OG.
The original movie, Tim Burton's original Batman movie with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger, Robert Wool. Batman.
All of those guys play Batman?
No, those are all different actresses and actresses. Oh, Billy D. Williams.
You got to remember that I'm not very good at these.
I know you're not,
things.
but
Favorite Batman of all time, Bone Crusher.
Nah, I don't have one.
What? You don't like Batman? That's my favorite superhero, and people are like,
He's not even a superhero. He's just a guy with a lot of money.
Heath Ledger.
Exactly.
He was the Joker. So Heath Ledger's Joker is my favorite character in the Batman series.
So the best Batman ever
Favorite
is
Batman.
I
Heath
don't care
Ledger.
about that.
Heath Ledger. Christian Bale is the best Batman, but the best Bruce Wayne was played by Michael Keaton in the Tim Burton Batman movie. That's what I would say.
I think I might be wrong on this, and people will probably hate, but it is what it is. No Braves game tomorrow night, just so that you guys are aware. Obviously, we have been postponed tonight, so there will not be any Braves on the air, and there will not be any Braves on the air tomorrow night. And I believe, if my calculations are correct, tomorrow night is Thursday, so we still have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Kansas City Royals, which means that you guys are going to get some free baseball, right? We're going to be playing into the postseason without it actually being postseason. Let's keep on rooting for those Braves. Kyle Albritton says, riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat? I don't know.
Hey, kid, ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
OG Batman is Adam West.
Yeah, I know. That's like the original TV show. I'm talking movies.
Oh, now you just pick and decide with your technicalities. My goodness
Are we
gracious.
going to talk football at all?
Sergio Romero was the Joker back then, too.
Hey, listen, when the lady in the room is like, can we talk some sports? Like, we go in that direction then. With that being said, your Texas A&M Aggies had a little bit of a, is this a fair word, kerfuffle this last weekend.
I don't even know what that means.
Google it later.
I'm about to get scared.
Google it later. Give us your thoughts from the Aggies game this last weekend against Bowling Green.
I think they had a little bit of a wake-up call maybe coming off a good win against Florida.
The best part of waking up is not Bowling Green in your cup, I'll tell you that much.
It's not Folgers either, I'll tell you that.
Folgers?
Yeah. Anyways, wow, yeah, rough time. Like I said, I was pounding the drinks because I was screaming, crying, throwing up, yelling at my TV, all the things.
So week one hit like crack, and then this last week it hit like liquor,
Hit like the bottle. The brown bottle blues, baby.
I took the Margs very seriously.
Margs, okay, there you go. I like it.
Anyways, the play calling was a little shoddy. I think everyone looked kind of slow coming off the line. We definitely hurt ourselves in the trenches game. I think the trenches game needed to be a little bit more on point, and that's where we kind of lost some of those points, was in the trenches. Penalties, man. Penalties. Can't
live with them, can't live without them.
No, they are eating us up, but I will say that it still looks somewhat improved since the Florida game. I mean, we definitely didn't have near as many points in penalties, but it still looked pretty, it's a work in progress. I think they're working on it. It looked better to me. I'm happy with that overall thing. There are still some positive things to look for from Texas A&M, and I'm going to keep looking for all of those positives. So,
all right.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I think Reed also, he's still kind of figuring out his kinks. I know last week I said there was one really bad game, one really great game. I think this might have been his one in-between game, truly, because he still had almost the same amount of passing yards against Bowling Green as he did Florida. He had 173 in passing, 178 against Florida. So, I mean, he still did everything that he's supposed to be doing. He's still trying, and he's still putting up numbers, and that's all we can ask. That's all I can ask for. I'm not going to speak for everyone else because y'all annoy me. But, and I don't mean people listening. I mean some people in the fan base.
She's just talking about Texas A&M. Really, specifically, if we boil it down, it's just X.
Tweeter. Le'Veon Moss still had a great game. He had 90 rush against Bowling Green and a 110 against Florida. So, I mean, they still had a lot of comparisons. They're still riding with what they were doing before. I think we just dipped off in some other parts, and we got to just, let's come back full circle, boys. Come back full circle.
There you go.
And Marcus Ratcliffe, 3 picks and 3 games. You know what? Do it. I'm happy to see it. I'm ready for it. Keep doing it.
Do it. What's that movie? Is that Starsky and Hutch? No one knows? Okay, my goodness gracious. If I Google this later and I find out that they said do it a lot in Starsky and Hutch, I'm just like, way to go, David. That is so amazing that you remembered anything from a movie. Looking at your notes here from someone who says no notes a lot, let's go with, how about the mustache of Andy Reid?
Okay, wow. All right.
Yes, let's talk about his mustache. Is it an attractive mustache?
Best quality someone could have is a mustache. So if you're listening, take some Mo notes right now.
Best quality that you can have, ladies and gentlemen. If you're worried about what your insides look like, no. Forget that. Get that lip on that hair growing correctly, and then Morgan will be like, that is a fine human being. They're not in the terms of saying attractive, just that's a good human being.
A lot of
there.
people look at teeth and stuff, and I'm just I look at mustaches. I don't know. Don't come for me, please. I'm just saying, everyone's different.
850-215-6290. If you'd like to show your mustache to Morgan and send your pictures.
I'll give you a rating from 1 to 10. Anyways, Andy Reid, why is it 3 different colors? I even texted you while I was watching the Chiefs Falcons, and I was like, what is wrong with his mustache?
I was playing poker.
I know, you didn't even respond. I was like, what's wrong with his mustache?
It's because he's old. No, it's not. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
He makes enough money, and he has an ombre mustache.
Smoked at one point.
Clean that up, dude. know you can afford hair dye from the Dollar General. Clean that up. It's so ugly. It's so hideous. I didn't even want to look at it. And they like kept like coming back to it. Like every close-up of the sidelines was Andy Reid. And I was like, no, stop.
You have a terrible mustache, and therefore you are a terrible person.
I agree. That's exactly what runs through my head. What's wrong with your mustache,
What do you make of that, Bone Crusher? How do you deal with something like
With
that?
great mustache comes great responsibility. Yes, right.
Some of your mustache, though, ratings 1 through 10.
850-215-6290.
Who's got a good stash? Who's your favorite stash?
Yeah, favorite mustache of all time.
Magnum PI or
A really good stash.
what's
You
a
know
good-
what? This might be a little based.
Ringer's Folly.
Who is the main character in Tombstone? I can't remember his name right now, but like it curls on the edges. Like
Val Kilmer.
Yes, he like curls.
That's Val Kilmer,
it's
duh.
Like you obviously know, and like the way he carries himself, like
No, that doesn't matter because it's about the mustache. it's
yeah,
not
but the
about how you
mustache
carry
looks
yourself.
good on a good carried person as well.
So you
There's
like that
elements
late
to this.
1800s stash?
Yeah, I love a good
Yeah.
stash. I'm sorry.
The handlebar.
Don't come for me.
Or do 850-205-6290. Whatever you guys
When you come in
want.
next week, all the men in here are gonna have mustaches.
Oh my god! If you guys bought fake mustaches and wore them when I came next week, I would lose.
She likes the Raleigh fingers kind of mustache with the little curly cues.
Caveman
like
Rick's gonna shave his and grow it back.
Like you're a villain. No,
Look at this thing, it's fresh.
This is what I thought about doing for Halloween before, right?
Okay.
Shaving off, you know how you get those like
Just
fake
shave it
beards
off.
with like the elastic band and it's like a really cheap, like cheesy looking beard. Just shave my beard completely off, but just put one of those on and go as myself. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be kind of?
That'd be great. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Trevor saying Sam Elliott, mustache MVP.
You know
I don't
what?
even know
That's
who
a
Sam
great
Elliott
mustache
is.
as well. That
Yeah.
is a really
Who's
good
Sam
mustache.
Elliott?
Roadhouse.
He does a lot of.
I'm surprised
He's
I've come
doing-
up with
He does
that
a lot of
many
commercials.
movies.
Whatever.
He does like
show.
Wild West
Yeah.
movies and stuff. Like he's definitely
Oh,
like
Whatever
kind
the-
of like
The spin-off of
didn't Will
Yellowstone.
Smith do
Yeah.
I
Wild?
think he's on that.
Something
Yeah.
with the Wild West,
like that.
Men in Black.
You know what?
That was like the
that's a
wild-
good call. Though.
wild space.
That is a good call. But anyways, Andy
Thank you,
Reid,
Trevor.
if you can hear me, clean it up, man. We don't want to see that. There's kids at home watching.
He's actually listening. Someone says Kurt Russell, Wyatt Earp. Maybe that's and then also we get a Tom Selleck here as well. Okay, guys, stop sending me.
I love that they took this very seriously. They understood the assignment to a T. I love that.
That's a great take here as we're gonna keep it
How about
rolling.
the Kool-Aid mustache?
What's a Kool-Aid? Oh, like when you drink Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I'm just being
Stop
whatever.
it.
I think milk is a little bit more.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a woman with a Kool-Aid mustache.
But a milk mustache, you never know.
Healthy bones.
Healthy bones. There you go. You heard it here first from Morgan Hilliard. This is
I
the
got a whole
Afternoon
head
Underdogs.
stash. Can't wait to see his high bone density scan. Ooh, yeah.
Another great quality.
All right, time out, folks. We're going to break, and that's all I'm going to say. Here we are. This is ESPN Northwest Florida Afternoon Underdogs. Thank you, Caveman Rick.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
Got 8 seconds.
8 seconds for Paul Ritchie, my man. Good stuff there. If you end up being the winner, he's not on the air with us, is he?
No. I got his info and everything. So yeah, you just keep listening, and maybe he'll be the winner.
Well, there you go, Paul. We do appreciate you.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a place that feels like home right in the heart of Panama City? Well, look no further than Charlie Corm's place at their new location on 15th Street. Charlie Corm's is not just a place, it's an experience. Imagine cozy corners, friendly faces, and the aroma of delicious dishes that'll make your taste buds dance. From sunrise breakfast to late night bites, Charlie Corm's on 15th Street has it all. Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street is now offering exclusive weekday lunch specials. Visit Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street, look for for the giant mural.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
The Braves have battled through a lot this season, and now the battle turns to the playoffs as the Braves try to lock up their spot in October.
Swung on and rocked down the left field line, rolling down the line all the way to the wall. 2-1 Atlanta here in the fourth.
Tonight, division rivals clash at Truist Park in Atlanta, and the stakes are high as the Braves face off against Pete Alonso and the New York Mets.
Coverage coming up at 6 right here on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Who was hired? Who was fired? Trades, drafts, and playoffs. We're talking about it.
That trade, when it was made, was the right trade.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs, hosted by Morgan Hilliard. And we're going to bring it to your host now. Morgan, what's going on, girl?
I love that you tried to wear pink today, though. I do,
I wish I could say this was on purpose.
You tried.
I wish that
We
I
got to
could
get you a
say
pink shirt, man. I'm tired of dealing with
If
you.
you go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's, they might have one.
I'm going to pick you up some pink.
All right, there we go.
Because I'm a kind person. That's what I'm going to do.
Fair enough.
Take you up something pink. You posted something on Facebook last week that I thought was interesting. You asked the question, and I'm going to let you and Caveman answer before I tell you what I think. But
Oh,
you
that's
asked-
exactly what a host should actually do.
Isn't that so beautiful?
Yeah.
Aren't I kind? I think.
Oh, real quick before we dive into that, it's time for the race to Talladega. So, with that being said, let me pull up simpletexting.com, Caveman Rick, so I can come up with a name for this afternoon's winner. Don't forget, you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, and this is the Afternoon Underdogs. David Hayes along with Morgan Hilliard and Caveman Rick, and I'm honestly just killing time with you guys because our winner for Race to Talladega is going to be, you know what, let's go with someone who I think might just call back. Let's go with Michigan Eddie. You are now on the clock, 850-215-6290. With that being said, you were asking me essentially to preface what I posted on Facebook. Well, don't forget to listen to the Coach Hale Show mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Then you take that keyword and you text it and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Then you listen back at 12:40 and at 5:40, and if we announce your name, race to the phones, call us back, and how long it takes you to call back is going to be your qualifying time. The two fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to the Yellowwood 500 and passes to the United Rentals 250. That's the Xfinity Series race on October 5th. All qualifiers instantly win a Rudy's barbecue gift card and a 12-pack from Buffalo Rock. Race to Talladega from ESPN Northwest Florida. All right. Michigan Eddie, you're disqualified. Here we go. The NFL college football thing. I'm actually a bigger college football fan than
You have to preface the full question.
That's what I'm doing.
What is
Can you let me
better?
work into that?
I'm the host.
Oh my goodness. All right, the hostess with the mostest, Morgan Hilliard.
You said, what do you think is better, college football or NFL? And then you said there's no way you could watch college football all weekend and say that college football is better than the NFL.
and-
So go.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get at is like, I'm actually a bigger college football fan than I am an NFL fan. However, when I'm watching the game as someone who loves the game of football, when I'm watching that and someone says all buttoned up, I'm like, actually, they're just better at the game. And then when you look at that 12 o'clock window specifically, there's not a window in college football, which they've done better at getting their games into windows. There's not a window where you're going to see 7, 8, 9 games. Well, let's say 6, 7 games that come down to one score, right? So that's why I said that. And it was also a little tongue in cheek to kind of get people commenting on the particular status, which is unlike me, but whatever, it worked. So, yeah, if it's a Sunday night and obviously college football doesn't play on Sunday night, but let's say it's Alabama versus Georgia or the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Well, I'm going to 2TV it anyways, but I more than likely end up choosing and watching more of the college football game. However, that being said, I will not ever sit there and be like, no, college football is just way better than the NFL. Like, no, there's elements of it that make it better. However, if you're a fan of football, like the game football, I don't think that it compares very well. And I would love to hear your thoughts, unless you'd like to hear Caveman Rick go first, because we only have 7 minutes, Morgan.
Caveman Rick, do you have a thought?
Yeah, just real quick. I don't know. I don't think I know this. NFL's better. NFL, you get the closer games. You have games that aren't blowouts where you have teams winning by 70 points. On top of that, your record is what you say you are. It's not predicated upon, like, the style of a win or whatever. If you're undefeated, you're undefeated. If you're 500, you're a 500 team. Plain and simple.
Simple, clear.
Floor
easy.
is yours, Morgs.
I already knew what I was going to say, but I love that both.
Oh, wait, what's your new nickname? Aggie Barbie?
Yeah, Aggie Barbie.
There we go.
I love that you guys agree, because it just makes my rebuttal that much different. Anyways, I'm going to say college football, because you guys are talking about how serious it is and like how it's only one score. You
like blowouts? Because Texas A&M couldn't bring you one?
I'm not talking about a blowout. I like the ride it takes you on. A lot of these games I've watched this season over the weekends in the college football sphere, there's been some very tough leads. Like, they're not leading by a couple of points. They're leading by touchdowns. They're leading by actual scores. And I love that, because we've seen these teams come back and
not
actually fight for them.
You're talking about other teams.
Don't come for me, please. Not against the Aggies. Okay, anyway. But I liked seeing that comeback. I like seeing it be so close. And the Falcons-Chiefs game was really good, because it was kind of one of those games.
Say that again real quick.
Cowboys
the
game.
The Falcons-Chiefs game was what?
Was good.
You haven't even mentioned a single college football game?
Be quiet. I'm getting to my point. The Cowboys game, they fought hard in the fourth quarter, and I'm just going to leave that at that. Let's leave that alone.
Hey, shout out Derrick Henry, though. Can we agree on that?
I do, because he's on my fantasy team.
You?
He's on my team.
So say Roll Tide.
I'm not saying
I thought you didn't like fantasy.
You didn't ask me to be on your fantasy team. That hurt my feelings.
Fantasy. Wait.
That's a conversation off air.
Exactly.
Anyways, so any hoozle.
All right, Dr. Seuss, ladies and gentlemen.
The college football games were so great. You had LSU. They were fighting for their lives. Then you have, I watched so many games.
Yeah, USC Michigan. How about that one, though,
Michigan
right?
Was a great game.
Miller Moss,
Tennessee
capital letters.
OU was a great game. The ankle injury threw me for a loop, because they said that they weren't going to show that replay anymore because it was so gross. And I mean, it really was so gross.
I think even Kirk Herbstreit got on to him about that.
Yeah, and there was also a couple of other really major injuries, especially in the USC game. They had some major injuries. They had to take someone to the hospital by ambulance, and then same thing happened with LSU. And I mean,
Arkansas Auburn had back-to-back plays where they had to cart someone off. One got carted off, but the Arkansas player did not.
The NFL is intense, but I feel like it's a different perspective, because these guys still have so much time to play. They still have so much to do.
Cam Rising,
Max
perfect
Johnson.
example. Yeah.
Max Johnson, he's already announced that he's on his comeback tour already. He's already
Those
doing
revenge stories don't work out very well if you ask some Seminole fans.
Listen, we know they're cursed. That guy still hasn't eaten out of the
Is that what it comes down to?
Yes.
What about the BYU guy? Or the Kansas State guy with the beefy
5-layer burrito?
Yeah,
he froze it, apparently, to try to...
Also, he actually tried to do that.
He hasn't released the video
Let's preface
yet.
real quick.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, give us the backstory here.
There's a Twitter user who said
a tweet user.
He said that if his team won, that he would put a beefy 5-layer burrito. I'm afraid to say the next part because we're on air.
Just say butt.
Up his butt. He said that's what he would do. And, I thought that was really insane. Well, you know what? circumstances played out where he did actually have to do it, and he posted an update of him. He went to Taco Bell, and then he threw the burrito in the freezer to freeze it, and I haven't seen another update yet. I need to keep looking for it. But, I mean, there's no other sphere like the college football sphere. Now, one thing I like that aspect because it's so unhinged. What I don't like about the NFL is that, like, there's so many people just fighting aimlessly, and that's so crazy to me. Like, there was literally a guy who died at the Lions last week.
Really?
He got shot in the stadium, and him and another person.
In the stadium?
In the stadium. Him and another person.
This is why we need to just have Twitter as our, not even just Texas A&M pundit, our Twitter pundit.
None of this, like you didn't hear about this, right? I didn't hear about this,
no,
right?
I didn't hear about that.
Let me just preface this real quick, me being a Philly fan. This would happen in Philly, we would have already heard about it.
Well, yeah.
But we're better than that. We don't do this kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that everybody thinks we do.
Batteries at Santa Claus.
This is what's supposed to happen in New Orleans, and it didn't happen in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But another thing is that, like, a crazy stat was since they were on a winning game streak, there were no murders. And as soon as their first loss happened, there was already another murder. Like, there's just so many things that line up, and you don't see people killing each other.
And you also, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Coach Campbell last year, right after they lost to the 49ers, one of his daughter's classmates, who was a male classmate at her school, he doxed them, which I was like, wait, what do you mean doxed? He let their address out on Snapchat.
Yes. And that just happened to, he has an Applebee's commercials, Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
He just got doxed as well. And people,
that's who I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry. People are letting all of this information fly, and it's just so crazy to me. The stakes are so much higher.
Sometimes, you might listen to Lil Wayne and you might hear, let it fly, let it fly, let it fly, but
it's just a game.
It's just a game,
man. We're not
exactly.
even out there, but my favorite part about a lot of games is you pan over to the crowd, and it's just a grown man in the dumbest outfit you've ever seen. And that happens in both spheres. And that's the greatest thing about it, is people take it so seriously. I
and
love
the mustaches that she sees while she's watching the broadcast, and that is Morgan Hilliard. If there's thing that you could...
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no, we're out of time, so I'm trying to ask if there's anything that you'd like to leave the people with.
During Florida and A&M, they panned over to the sidelines, and there was a guy in overalls talking to a group of girls, and he got completely flamed on the air. No, they were like, he's definitely in the friend zone, like talking crazy about him, about how... It was so wild,
the friend zone.
but you didn't see anybody get shot. No one got shot.
Fair enough. College football and NFL updates there with Morgan Hilliard. She does such a great job. We're excited and thankful that she comes on the air with us each and every week, and you can hear her back here next Wednesday at whatever time she ends up showing up, right? Today, it was planned for 4:40. We'll figure out what next week has in store. We're out of time, man. Y'all be safe out there. We'll keep you updated here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Just remember one thing, and this is the most important thing. Jesus loves you, so do I.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
It's your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500, Sunday, October 6th. Step 1, listen to Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Step 2, text the keyword and your racing name to 85.